you know. I mean, if I can do 28 days crossing the Atlantic, pretty sure I could do 15 minutes in the octagon.
Right, so if you got that bug, you would put those 6 weeks in and then maybe get tested again after that 6 weeks. And if that was clear, then maybe go ahead and fight. So it's got a few things that have to happen.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in less of a rush about it than I was last time we spoke.
Right.
There was certainly a feeling within the first year of being kind of forced into retirement that I didn't really have anything else. I didn't really know myself as anything other than an athlete. And I had this conversation actually on the boat with an Olympic athlete that was doing the training for the boat race as well. And she said the same thing. She said, when I retired, I didn't know myself. I had to get to know myself as a regular person. So there's been a lot of that, and a lot of my drive and my determination to get back to fighting was just kind of because I didn't really know what else I was going to be doing.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of options now. I can do all kinds of things. I'm excited about doing other things, but at the same time, I still identify that competitiveness within me, and as well as being on the side of the sport and watching it grow, I kind of want to dip my toe back in the water. You know, I'm seeing things, and I'm far more educated as a mixed martial artist now than I ever have been. Physically, I feel better than I ever have been. I mean, I've still got a bit of Christmas around my waist from last year, but I'm healed up. I'm healthy. I have no injuries. You know?
And you would fight at 155 or 170?
I think I would 155. Yeah, okay. I'm a lot lighter now than I used to be.
You're a tall 155er, right?
Yeah, well, 5'11", 6 foot, kind of around there.
How tall is Cerrone? He's pretty tall.
Yeah, he's 6 foot 6'1".
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. If George St. Pierre doesn't have to come back, why does Dan Hardy have to come back?
He doesn't. Dan Hardy doesn't have to come back, but he wants to. Okay. I never feel like I showed my best in the octagon. I never feel like I gave the best account of myself that I could have done. You know, and I was watching back my fight with Condit, and I mean I was
watching it today too. Yeah. Great first round.
It was
really
a good back
good.
And forth.
I was like, I remembered the KO, but I hadn't remembered you, and I was like, damn, this is game on here.
Yeah, it was. I didn't feel like it was a bad performance up until the point where I got caught. You know, I mean, he landed the volume and I landed the weight. I think my shots were heavier than his, generally, but he was landing at a higher volume. I just got carried away with the left hook. That was all it was. I hit him twice cleanly in the fight, and I could see I'd hurt him. And then if you watch that moment, I watched it today a few times. If you watch that moment where he caught me, I threw a left hook and he threw a body kick. I threw a left hook and he threw a low kick. And I threw a left hook and he knocked me out. I threw the same punch 3 times in a row. It was absolutely stupid. It was a schoolboy error. But it sent me off in a trajectory that I wouldn't ever want to change. So it's quite nice to be able to go back and look at it objectively and see the mistake that I made. But it is what it is, you know.
One thing I noted last time you were here is that you took full ownership for everything that happened in that fight, and you took the full responsibility. And a lot of fighters say, it was just his night. And a lot of people just move on, and any given night anyone can win, and I do believe that in MMA. So when I see these 10-1 underdogs, or when I see the Rousey home fight, not that I knew it was going to happen, but Jesus, I mean, these are 2 of the best, most savage people in the world going in there. But you were always like, no, I own this and I own that, and I could have done this, and even now you're like, I threw the same punch 3 times in a row, and now that you say it that way, it does look like that. But that's a very unique aspect about you, I think.
I just think that I have to be honest with myself. You know, I mean, he knocked me out. He caught me with a good, clean left hook. I made a mistake, and if I hadn't have made a mistake, he probably wouldn't have knocked me out. And I still feel like if I fought him 10 times, I could win, you know, a good majority of them. I don't think I was out of the fight at the time. I just think it was one of those things where, you know, we threw at the same time. He caught me cleaner and he knocked me out. And I don't see any reason why I would skirt around it and pretend like it's something that it's not, you know? It's like the Chris Lytle fight. I went in there, I was overtrained, I was exhausted. I didn't really want to be in there. I wanted to fight. I wanted just to be angry because I was frustrated with where my career was at. I didn't go in there to win. I went in there to brawl. And I can look back on that and be like, oh, that was the mistake I made there. You know, every single fight, even fights that I won at, it's good to go back and look at it and analyse it and pull it apart and see, you know, see all the elements, you know. Especially because if I can't do it for my own career, then how could I do it for another fighters? And how could I be a decent analyst if I can't pull my own fights apart and be honest with myself? Sometimes you have to be, even if it's a fighter that I'm a fan of or a friend of, you know, if I'm breaking down a friend's fight, which I've done a couple of times, sometimes you just have to be honest. Yeah, Frankie Edgar, I'm a huge fan, but you cross your feet over when you step, you do it consistently. Aldo exposed it in your fight. A couple of other people have exposed it. You know what I mean? Now, when I see Frankie Edgar, I don't want it to be uncomfortable, but it's just that's kind of the role I've taken on now, so honesty is a big part of it.
To watch the rest of this fascinating interview, click on the link below and go to londonrealacademy.com. There you can sign in with your social media login and watch the rest of the episode for free, along with all of our episodes on London Real, my webinars, and all of our premium content, all located over at londonrealacademy.com. So click on the link below, you'll be directed there and you can watch the rest of this fascinating interview, and I'll see you there.